Should I get into software engineering? Now, that is indeed a very difficult question to answer without taking a really hard look at who you are as a person. Now, I am a bit of an optimist in that I believe that if you have the willpower and determination to go down the path of becoming a software engineer, most people probably can. However, that is one of the biggest ifs that I could field out there. You could just bat that out of the park if you really wanted to. We humans typically have one or more predispositions towards careers that we can excel in. A predisposition can come in the form of a talent or even a passion that drives one to work hard and improve on their skills. I even think I've once heard that being able to take an interest in things is an evolutionary response to being able to focus on aspects of life to aid in survival that are not imminent threats. On the flip side, we will also deprioritize what is no longer of interest. Particularly, the problem lies in the latter. I'm fairly confident that for fields like software engineering, interest would slowly wane for the majority of people that initially found it interesting. A common phenomenon that occurs with skills that have a sufficiently high entry barrier is burnout. The motivation to improve said skills diminishes over time as the bright new topic of interest loses its shine. As much as something may be fun, we tend to like to get a payout for our efforts. Even something as entertainment focused as games lures players to keep on playing by giving them ranks, achievements, and in-game items to keep players motivated to keep playing. We are goal-seeking creatures that one way or another seeks tangible progression that will reward us. If you have to sink 1,000 hours before you get your first payout, even if large, it might be too daunting and too off-putting to hack it out. Do you want to play a game? The easiest way to go about determining whether or not software engineering could be for you is by playing a little elimination game. If you answer no to any of the following questions, then you have been eliminated. If you are eliminated, then I would definitely encourage you to continue watching these videos, as who knows, maybe circumstances could change that will put you back in the running. More importantly, I think there will be a net benefit if the average person understood their world a little bit better through a technological lens. Just like through a scientific, historic, artistic, etc. Many different lenses to view the world through. And also, since my videos are only an 8-minute commitment per week, I think the cost to benefit ratio is potentially huge. So, are you ready now? Are you goal driven? If the answer is no, you must immediately exit the game or incur a penalty. Even though being driven by goals is intrinsic to us as humans, not all of us actually live with this drive. Now, I'm not here to criticize or lecture people on this, but if you're not able to set goals and then strive to meet them, then you have little chance of succeeding in being a software engineer. Even more worrying is that you have little chance in succeeding in just about anything that requires a large amount of effort. Just being interested in something is not enough. As I said, interest can fade, leaving only determination and willpower behind to drive you forward. Do you have an interest in software, apps, or computers? If the answer is no, you must swiftly eject yourself from the process or be punished. It's perfectly fine if your interests lie elsewhere, as it could be your subconscious letting you know that you are predisposed towards something else. Without knowing who you are as an individual, I would say that investigating the interests that pull you the hardest is the first and best course of action. The reason I said investigate rather than follow is because some interests can be pretty hit or miss to follow blindly. For example, professional gaming. It's not viable for 99.9999% of the gaming population due to its perfectly competitive and winner-takes-all nature. However, being a professional game developer is something that doesn't follow the same rules, as a small success is relatively easier to achieve. In other words, you must make sure that the career that you're trying to go into is viable for you. If it's software engineering you are interested in, then this test will help you with that. Is software engineering the only viable career you are currently pursuing? If the answer is no, you must take care when leaving the platform and don't forget to mind the gap. A job is a job, and you don't want to end up in a position like I did where I was self-employed and relying on small fry work that didn't even really cover the bills. If you're already pursuing an interest that will lead to a stable career, then don't just prematurely switch to software engineering, even if you think you would enjoy it more. There are a few reasons for this. First, it's a responsible thing to do to make sure you are financially stable as fast as possible, because money troubles will make switching careers even more challenging. Another reason is the entry to barrier to gaining employment in software engineering is needlessly high at this point in time, meaning even once you have the skills, you'll have to compete with countless interviews before you will even get offered an entry-level position. Funnily enough, higher level positions are easier to get as there's less competition. Lastly, software engineering is a discipline that you can easily learn on the side while doing a day job, enabling you to learn the interview and get a clean transition between careers. And just as a side note, as it's just occurred to me, I've actually gone through witnessing people fail to transition into software engineering, and they left pretty decent paying jobs or viable careers to do it, and it's just gut-wrenching to see that play out. So please don't make that mistake. Do you strive to be a highly rational and systematic thinker? If the answer is no, then you must promptly jump up and down in frustration out of being eliminated. At this point, I would imagine most of you have already been eliminated, and this question is particularly harsh. I think the trait to be a highly rational and systematic thinker is incredibly rare, and to be consistent in thinking this way may actually be impossible. However, having this skill will not only make you suitable to be a software engineer, but it would make you suitable to be one of the most elite software engineers. What does it exactly mean to be highly rational and systematic? Well, the short answer is someone that seeks to be able to explain everything with facts, logic, and patterns. In reality, it's very difficult to do that in all aspects of life, but the drive to do it as much as possible will guarantee you will be a great software engineer in general. In reality, it's very difficult to do this in all aspects of life, but the drive to do it as much as possible will guarantee you will be a great engineer in general. Do you enjoy my content? If the answer is no, then go to your closest refuge point and yeet yourself into the bin.